Hey guys, it's Ian Lives and welcome back to another movie review. Quickly, only a week later, I went back to the theater for another new horror release. Horror's been popping off lately and I'm super excited for some of these new releases. One that was picking up a lot on social media was Longlegs, which I heard about a couple months ago when like the original teaser pictures were releasing online. And I actually was one of few that wasn't super excited for this movie based off of I saw Oz Perkins, one of his movies, The Black Coat's Daughter, which I wasn't huge on. So I was nervous if Longlegs was even going to be my style of movie. I didn't know much about the plot. I didn't ever watch the trailer. I only saw the poster images and I only knew that it involved Nicolas Cage being a serial killer. And that Micah Monroe starred in it. I didn't get super excited about it until it actually released. I was contemplating just skipping out on it in theaters because, I mean, I didn't know if it was going to be one of those movies that had good marketing but kind of died out in the wind. But people were raving about this thing as soon as it came out, saying multiple people that I trust their opinion on were saying that it's the best horror movie of the year. So I got really excited for it very quickly and I ended up going to the theater and seeing it. So let's get straight into the review for Oz Perkins' Longlegs. Starting off with the pros. Immediately, this movie is beautiful. It's got beautiful cinematography. I can't get over the cinematography. It's like, I don't think it was filmed in Midwest. I don't think the movie takes place in Midwest, but it's like a snowy suburban Midwest cold environment throughout the whole entire movie, which is just amazing. The score is, there is a score, but it's very deep and bassy, and it makes the whole movie feel very creepy. But yeah, the cinematography is great. Not a lot of pan ins or pan outs. It's just like still frames that cut in between each other. Which I'll talk about a little more in a second, but I also love the use of ratio. There are flashback scenes in this movie where the ratio gets small, and it looks like I'm watching like an old VHS tape that somebody recorded on, like a video recorder. That's what it looks like on some of the scenes, and it's just incredible. Even if I didn't enjoy it, which I did, I'll say that now. Even if I didn't enjoy it, I can't lie and say that Oz Perkins didn't do a good job, because he did. He did what he needed to do. The movie's beautiful. There's a scene where Micah Monroe thinks that she hears somebody in the house, so she goes outside, and us, the viewer, can see in the house in the background. And you can see somebody in the house. I love shots like that where it's not like a loud noise or jump scare. You have to be paying attention to see it, because it's very minute in the background. It's not in focus. And there's a lot of scares like that. You're always looking behind the character's back because you just feel like there's something gonna happen. And that's gonna go into my next pro. This movie isn't scary. It's not like you're going to jump like that. It's not like that. But it's very creepy. It's very eerie. It gives you anxiety. It's like suffocating almost, like to where it makes you hard to breathe because you feel so like tense the whole entire time. So that was also great. The performances make the movie. They really do. Nicolas Cage, man, I didn't think he had this in him. I know he's a great actor. I realize that. I have. But this performance from him is unlike anything he's ever done. It's so crazy. You really only know it's him if you know he's in the movie, because his character design doesn't look like Nick Cage, and the way that the character acts, you would never know in a million years. Nicolas Cage creepily blends into this character so well. He hides in this character. It is so scary. And the character of Longlegs literally is the meat and bones of the movie. He's as creepy as some of these other killers in these serial killer movies that are being compared to Longlegs, like Seven, Zodiac, and Silence of the Lambs. Longlegs, I would say, might even be creepier than any of the killers in those movies. Honestly, he is very eerie. There's scenes in here that he just does very absurd, weird, bizarre things that go on for a long time, and I was just like, whoa, this guy is killing it. He is doing the most with what he has. So Nicolas Cage, man, phenomenal. He deserves some sort of award for that performance. I know he won't get one, unfortunately, most likely, but god damn did he do good. And Micah Monroe, she killed it. She killed it. I didn't have much faith in her being an FBI agent. I don't know why that didn't sound like her type of role to me when I first heard it. But she did phenomenal, playing kind of like the shy, quiet, kept to herself, but really smart character. She has amazing emotional scenes where she looks like legitimately frightened. There's a scene where she's screaming in the car that just is incredible. You can tell that she really is putting her heart into this movie. This is by far the best role I've seen from her. So yeah, the acting performances are great. There's other people in here like Alicia Witt, who was an urban legend. That threw me off. I knew she looked familiar, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And then when I got home, I looked her up, and she's the main girl in Urban Legend. She plays Micah Monroe's character's mom in this movie. Amazing performance as well. I don't want to say anything, but because this is spoiler free, I should get that off the jump. You also have Blair Underwood, which I'm not familiar with him. I guess he was in a lot of early 2000s, late 90s movies, and he's kind of making a comeback. Kiernan Shipka, I think is how you pronounce her name. She was from Totally Killer and Black Coat's Daughter. She has a very small role in here, but she knocked it out of the park, dude. She's actually not as young as I thought she was. She's 24, but still, she knocked the role out of the park for what little she had to work with. Very believable, very realistic, so have to give her props there. Another pro that I have with this movie is how it kind of flips. It's again, it takes stuff from serial killer movies, like Seven and what the hell, Silence of the Lambs. It reminded me most of Zodiac because there's a whole different type of code that the serial killer uses, which was very Zodiac-like. But I loved how they took that concept, but they made such a unique spin on it. It's very of its own. It's very creepy, and again, I just can't get over the creepiness of this movie. There's not much to say. I'm failing to say much about this movie. It's kind of like you have to watch it to experience it type of thing. But yeah, dude. And that's like all the pros that I can think of. This movie was great. It was a great movie. Now, into the cons. I don't really have any. I don't have any cons. Besides maybe, I don't know if this is a con. The movie was kind of predictable. The twists weren't super surprising. They didn't run me for a loop. I kind of knew that the movie was going to go in the directions that it went. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing for this movie. This movie's not trying to be a mystery necessarily. It's trying to be more of a thriller, crime, serial killer movie. I don't think they're trying to focus too much on the mystery aspect. So don't go into this movie expecting a whodunit or a super big twist that's going to mess with your brain, because you're going to probably call it midway through the movie, maybe even earlier. So that might be a con. To me, that's not an extreme con. And honestly, I can't think of anything else. This movie was great. It's a little slow. I don't know if that's a con. That was my problem with the Black Coat's Daughter. That movie was pretty damn slow. But again, I'm failing to say more about this movie without getting into spoilers. So that was my review for Longlegs. I'm giving it a perfect score. I don't like to do that on first watches, but this movie was so great. And again, I don't really have any complaints about it. So I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. Now, is this my favorite horror of the year? No, but it's number 2. Number 1 is still I Saw the TV Glow, which I think is a horror movie, but some people say it's horror adjacent, whatever. If you're not counting that as horror, then yes, this is horror of the year. For me, it's number 2 movie of the year, in my opinion. I think it's phenomenal. I really do. It's one of the greatest original horror movies we've had in a long time. It really is. So, see it in the theater. The sound design was great. The theater experience is going to be memorable. It's very creepy in that dark environment with a big screen. It's very immersive. Go see it in a theater. Go support this movie. I think it's damn good. I apologize, Oz Perkins. I liked this movie, and I kind of want to rewatch your Black Coat's Daughter now, because maybe I was just in the wrong mindset. You know, I also want to watch his other movies like Gretel and Hansel, which I've heard love or hate things about that movie. Very mixed. Anyways, I know this review was kind of short, but again, I kind of just want you guys to just go in and watch this movie. Don't watch too many trailers. Yeah, like, it's one of those movies that you might be experienced best blind, even though you just watched a review. I don't think I gave too much away. But Nick Cage blew me away, and easily, like, I just can't get over his performance in this movie. Nicolas Cage, you did damn good. If you guys enjoyed the video, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell. Follow my Instagram at ianlives_, and follow my Letterboxd at wehateian. I absolutely love you guys. Let me know what you thought about Longlegs if you've seen it. And I love you guys.